Tyler Perry used to be the golden ticket. When Harry and Meghan detonated the royal fairy tale and fled the UK with nothing but their titles and a mountain of controversy, it wasn't Buckingham Palace that caught them. It was Tyler Perry, billionaire fairy godfather. The man behind Medea became the unexpected hero of a royal crisis, opening the doors of his Beverly Hills mansion and offering them what even the crown couldn't: privacy, protection, and peace. And while the headlines painted Harry and Meghan as victims of a cold monarchy, Perry was the one who stepped in and gave them a safe haven. No questions asked. His home became their fortress, his jet, their escape route, his bodyguards, their invisible shield. And almost overnight, the Sussexes went from being exiled royals to Hollywood royalty, with a godfather like Perry leading the charge. Before we go any further, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You're going to want to follow this story, because what started as a tale of loyalty and gratitude is unraveling into one of the most shocking betrayals in recent memory. And the silence might be breaking any moment now. For a time, it was the perfect alliance. Perry wasn't just a host, he became family. Harry said it himself. Meghan made it official. She named him godfather to their daughter, Lilibet, a title dripping with royal significance. That wasn't just a gesture, it was a statement to the world. Photos were taken, interviews were filmed, tears were shed. Perry appeared in their Netflix documentary like a proud uncle, declaring he'd always be there for their little girl. It was emotional, it was polished, and it fit Meghan and Harry's carefully constructed brand of chosen family, to a T. But fairy tales don't last forever, because then came the lawsuit, seemingly out of nowhere. Tyler Perry was slapped with a bombshell, $260 million civil suit by actor Derek Dixon. The allegations: a toxic, abusive work environment, claims of intimidation, career sabotage, and systemic workplace bullying. For a man who built his empire on uplifting narratives and safe spaces, it was a PR nightmare. And it didn't take long for the ripple effects to hit the Sussex camp. Within hours of the lawsuit breaking into the news cycle, something eerie began to happen. Meghan's digital world, so carefully curated, so obsessively maintained, began to shift. Tyler Perry's name scrubbed, his photos deleted. Mentions of him as Lilibet's godfather gone. Instagram reels that once featured heartfelt thank yous and nostalgic throwbacks vanished. Even Princess Lilibet's Wikipedia entry, edited, quietly swapped as for was. Uncle Tyler had been erased, and the internet noticed screenshots began popping up across social media. Threads exploded on Reddit. Where's Uncle Tyler became a trending question. People weren't just curious, they were stunned. How could someone go from godfather to ghost in less than 24 hours? Especially someone who had once literally housed them during their darkest moment. And Meghan, she said nothing. No comment, no clarification, no graceful distancing. Just ... silence. Now, here's where it gets dangerous. Because Tyler Perry doesn't just have receipts, he has legal leverage. Every guest who stayed at Perry's estate reportedly signed a confidentiality agreement. The usual stuff: don't leak, don't gossip, don't post private information. But buried deep in that legal paperwork, there's a clause so specific, it reads like it was written for this exact moment. It states that if either party publicly disowns the other, the non-breaching side is free to speak. That means if Meghan's quiet erasure of Perry is deemed a public disownment, and legal experts say it easily could be, then Perry has every right to talk. Not just vague hints or cryptic Instagram quotes, we're talking sit-down interview, national TV names, dates, emails, recordings, the whole truth, and word on the street. Perry's camp is already in motion. Sources close to his team say they're quietly weighing offers. Major networks are circling like sharks, waving blank checks and locking down studio time. One insider reportedly joked, "This could out Oprah," and remember, Perry was there for everything. He wasn't just a bystander, he was part of their inner strategy circle. He saw the breakdowns, the behind-the-scenes chaos, the brand planning, the Netflix negotiations. He heard every whispered doubt, every late-night fear, every complaint about the palace, the press, the public. If he talks, it's not just juicy, it's destructive. And Meghan knows it. That's why her team is reportedly in full panic mode, flooding her socials with lifestyle content, wellness tips, pastel brunch spreads, garden parties, recipe reels. A calculated distraction strategy, but no amount of avocado toast can erase the question echoing across every comment section: where is Tyler? Sponsors are watching too. A high-end fashion house recently put a campaign featuring Meghan on hold, pending clarity on the Perry situation. PR insiders are calling it a ticking time bomb, one that could explode the very foundation of Meghan's brand. Because this isn't just about ghosting a friend. This is about ghosting the man who once saved you. And if that doesn't align with your brand of loyalty and empowerment, what does? Meanwhile, Harry is stuck in emotional limbo. Insiders say he's furious one moment, throwing his phone the next, staring into space. He knows what Perry did for them. When his own father wouldn't return his calls, Perry picked up when the UK press wouldn't leave them alone. Perry's gates stayed shut. He gave Harry something no royal ever did: unconditional safety. But Meghan controls the narrative, the strategy, the image, and her playbook is clear-cut ties with liabilities before they sink the ship. That means Tyler, no matter how loyal, no matter how generous, no matter how many memories were shared. And Perry, he's not just angry, he's hurt. According to sources close to him, what stings isn't the deletion, it's the speed of it, the coldness. One minute, he's holding the child of a duchess. The next, he's being memory-holed like a PR risk. And when Meghan's crisis team reportedly tried to quietly retract an old press release naming Perry as godfather, it backfired. The release got cached, screenshotted, shared the internet, never forgets. And the trail was undeniable. Suddenly, the erasure looked less like PR management and more like guilt. But Perry is a billionaire for a reason. He's not just emotionally strategic. His team is reportedly building a document archive of proof, texts, emails, voice memos, cards, behind-the-scenes footage, all of it stacked, organized, and ready. Not for revenge, for protection, because Meghan's silence is sending a message, one that Perry refuses to let stand unchallenged. And if he goes public, the world won't just hear a different version of events, they'll hear everything. Hollywood is watching this fallout like it's a live-action thriller. Executives, influencers, publicists, they all know that if Tyler Perry talks, the entire Sussex narrative could collapse like a house of cards. Man behind the curtain, he built the stage. And now that stage is burning, and here's the real kicker. This isn't the first time Meghan has distanced herself from people the moment controversy hits. Look at the pattern. Jessica Mulroney, once her best friend and stylist, vanished from Meghan's life after being publicly called out for racially insensitive comments. Serena Williams, once hailed as Meghan's closest confidant, now barely mentioned. Even Oprah, who gave Harry and Meghan the platform of a lifetime, seems to have quietly stepped back. One by one, the power players in Meghan's inner circle fade into digital silence the moment they stop being PR assets, and now, Tyler Perry, the man who gave her literal shelter, is being wiped like an inconvenient chapter. Public sentiment is shifting. What once looked like strategic boundaries now reeks of manipulation. People are starting to ask, is Meghan building a brand or just burning bridges? Even Harry's friends are speaking out privately. Former schoolmates, military comrades there, quietly voicing concern that the man they once knew, the man of loyalty and grit, seems to be caught in a web of shifting alliances and brand calculus. Your own child's godfather. And that brings us back to the NDA clause, the legal landmine. Meghan may have just stepped on without realizing it. Lawyers are already weighing in. If Perry's erasure is interpreted as a public disownment, then the clause activates. He would be free to speak to protect his reputation, to provide context, to share his side, and he doesn't have to play nice. He can name names, share messages, release footage. Dinners where strategy was discussed, tearful late-night calls about the royal family, pitch decks for archetypes, phone calls where Perry listened, advised, and ultimately supported decisions that shaped their public narrative. He saw it all, and according to someone close to his inner circle, Perry is done being the footnote. He's not interested in revenge, they said. He's interested in the truth, and making sure no one rewrites history. As the pressure mounts, Meghan's camp is reportedly scrambling. PR consultants are being cycled in and out. Crisis meetings have become routine. There's talk of launching a new wave of Positive Stories charity appearances, podcast announcements, even family-focused Instagram content, all designed to drown out the headlines. But none of it's working because the question won't go away. Where's Tyler? The public wants answers. He doesn't need to stir the pot. All he has to do is sit down, press record, and speak. And if he does, it won't just be gossip. It'll be gospel. Every whispered conversation, every strategy session, every raw moment that Meghan thought would never see daylight laid bare. The fairy tale unraveled. The empire cracked. The Duchess dethroned, not by royals, but by the man who once gave her everything. And the irony. The very clause meant to protect privacy might become the gateway to full exposure. Analysts are already seeing a shift. Brand sentiment around Meghan is cooling. Influencer engagement is dropping. Lifestyle sponsors are quietly stepping back. Not because of the lawsuit, but because of the pattern. Because if you erase someone who once saved you, what does that say about your values, Even longtime supporters are growing wary. YouTube commentators, fashion insiders, even progressive media figures are asking questions not about the lawsuit, about the loyalty, about what happens when someone stops being useful. Perry remains silent. Not a tweet, not a quote, not even a vague post, but the silence is louder than any press release. And that silence, it's strategic. Because if he talks, it won't be off the cuff. It'll be orchestrated. Legal devastating networks are ready. They don't have to. Every headline chips away at Harry and Meghan's moral high ground. Every deleted photo validates the palace's long-held skepticism about Hollywood entanglements. And Harry, he's watching it all crumble. The safe haven gone. The trust broken. The godfather, GHOSTED. He knows Perry has nothing to lose and everything to say. And if he does, the fairy tale ends. The public sees the real blueprint, not of a woman escaping a cold palace, but of a strategist building a brand, one severed tie at a time, and this time there's no palace to blame, no queen to deflect, just receipts. And if Perry pushes that microphone in front of his face, this story won't be about betrayal, it'll be about truth. So stay tuned, because this storm, it's just beginning. If you found this video eye-opening, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. We've got more stories coming that pull back the curtain on fame, power, and the price of silence. You won't want to miss what happens next.